Alright. Now that's posted. That's good. You can play... Jesus, you can drive on the border. CTR, invisible fueled. Jesus, this man is on fire. Alright. Can I still have music with this on? Or I need to pause and then it will be good, I suppose. Okay, good. Let's use for this something that I've never used, which is a fucking card. If I've unlocked cars, okay. What is this? Wow. I like the front. This is, however, bad, I would say. Right. What? Oh, they're on the tires. Okay, I see. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. First of all, as I've annoying bikes. Why do I go to YouTube? Why do I go to YouTube? Just because YouTube is gonna have a better way and more accessible way for the footage to be shown. So, on Oxide Station, the thing you have to understand is not neutral, but having control of your card by when you have to release the turbos, you have to nearly always hold the direction. That, for now, is the most important key point in order to go tight in this course. Now, the thing is, going too tight in many parts is gonna kill you because the walls are somewhat invisible. I don't even know if... wait, which button is it? In this one, you're quite tight, but there are many that can screw you up in this course. The thing is, most people don't understand how to go tight by this part. In order to go tight by this part, the thing I do, and which is probably the easiest way to handle your turbos, is doing 2 power slides here, and then instantly go to the left side and do 1 neutral turbo. This will put your cart in the line of the turn, which is the spiral in this case. Afterwards, you can have full control of your cart by holding the left direction, and you can go as tight as this without being like confused by hitting a wall. Even the game will allow you to hit the wall. If you have the vibrations on, you can notice it. Sometimes I've actually seen that I would be hitting the wall just because of my controller vibrating, but I would still keep going because apparently my cart angle was good enough to continue. Now, you've seen me actually do 6 turbos in there, and why does it work? Let's try to show it. Alright. One neutral, and then you go tight, and then you jump again, and you try to adjust. The thing is, if you jump instantly after the 3 turbo releases, you're gonna get a ton of air and have no control because you're like, oh, this is not what I have been used to. what the fuck do I do? So what I recommend is after the 3 turbo releases, keep holding the drift. Keep holding the drift for like a second, even less if you feel like it, and then jump. By the time you jump, you will have more line of sight of the course, and you will be able to adjust even better your turns. This will make you land about here if you do it properly. It doesn't matter if you land here or not. What matters is that your drift when landing has to start as a neutral drift. So this specific turn, when you're about to release the turbo, can be done while holding the left direction, which means you're going to go as tight as this. Therefore, the boost panel will be hit at about this angle, and you will be tight as fuck for the next turn, which is a straight line that enters as a turn. The thing is, in this specific spot, if you jump straight away once again after releasing the 3 turbos, you're going to most likely hit this wall. So once again, you need to keep drifting for a bit in order to adjust your line. Afterwards, jump once again to do a neutral turbo in order to keep your momentum and keep the line. It does not matter for the reserves to hit this boost panel. It is also slower to hit it on lap 1. By only a teeny bit, but it is slower. When you do this mini turbo, what you have to think of is I instantly adjust to the right side. So let's say I'm releasing the turbo here. You have to instantly jump at the moment of the release. Depending on your controls, it may be easier or even harder. For me, it is easier because I use alternate and I'm used to doing so. So when you jump, you have to instantly think about I want to go on the right side. Therefore, you're probably going to land about as tight as here if you jump as fast as possible while holding the right direction. What I recommend is doing a counter drift right there. You have to start the drift as a counter drift while thinking about holding the right side of the map. So if you do a counter drift, you're gonna do something like, oh, I don't have enough speed. Let's go back. Like this. You have to think that when landing, since you're most, how can I say it? The input you have pressed the most is gonna be right. So the drift is gonna be right. But by the moment you land, you have to instantly press left so you can go a bit wider and not hit the wall. Afterwards, the most important point is to drift neutral. If you drift neutral, you can hug this wall with no problem. Afterwards, once you've released the 3 turbos, which should be perfect turbos, if you do good turbos, of course you're gonna get ruined and you're probably gonna land about here. Good turbos are never good, don't abuse of them unless you need to go tight. Once you've released the turbos, the problem is, this corner, you cannot do it. You would think of, I want to drift, so I can go tight here. The problem is, by drifting, how can you adjust well this specific part of the course? Most likely you will have to U-turn, and there is a higher chance that you will hit this specific wall, ending already in a reset in the first lap at like 18 seconds in, after passing the spiral, which is a pain in the ass if you want to optimize it. You're never gonna pass the lap 1 if you use the drifting technique that Turismo and Tanjitos are using here. What I recommend is holding the drift, and when you reach about this specific spot, jump. And keep jumping. The problem is, in this specific course, in the specific part of the course, when you're drifting, the game thinks you're stuck in the ground. Being stuck in the ground means you're gonna lose time. And I've noticed against my ghost that if I keep jumping, that means I'm less being stuck in the ground, and that means I can gain time. This part of the course, you have to think of it as it is off-road that is going to slow me down. So to counter this, what better way to that exists other than jumping? You have to always jump here on lap 1 to gain time. Once you've done your jumps, you're probably gonna end on this trick, and then you're gonna go like here. What I recommend for reserves is to add a mini turbo, like what Turismo has always been doing in this record. It helps a fuck ton for the next lap. So just do a right turbo here, and by the release, please hold neutral if you're about here. If you're like landing here, please hold the right. You need to not hit this wall. This track is already as frustrating as it is to begin with, and only within 18 seconds. Within 18 seconds, you're gonna hit so many walls that you're like, I don't want to play this track anymore. But you have to sometimes play safe in order to finish a run. So it is better to think about safety other than mostly optimizing. Here, the most important point is to do a high jump on lap 1, but do a low jump on lap 2 and 3. Afterwards, what I recommend to do is to do a U-turn. You're most likely gonna land about this spot, which means landing in a wall hit once again. So what you can do here is either counter drift to go wider and not hit this wall, or neutral. The problem with counter drifting is that you're gonna most likely land about here, which means you're not gonna hug a wall afterwards, because since you're going this wide, there's a higher chance that you're gonna go this tight here and hit the wall like just so easily, because you wanted to jump and you wanted to then add some left turbos, but in the end, during the jumps, you're gonna hit the wall. This is a problem. Also, this corner in specific will be taken badly, so you're gonna lose time. So what I recommend here is doing 2 neutral turbos, or even 3 if you feel comfortable with it, and hit the boost panel here about here. Only hit the left side of the boost panel. I would say it's better for me to miss it, because when I hit this boost panel, it adjusts my line instantly by making me go straight forward. I do not like going straight forward in this specific spot. Why? Because my turbos in this specific spot, if they go too tight, there's so many chances of hitting a wall. There's way too many chances, especially by the third turbo release, which usually ends up here. When I release it, there is a higher chance that I hit the wall like this, and therefore I lose my reserves, I lose my fire, and that means I'm losing time. So what is the best strategy here? When you have done the 2 turbos and are about to do the left drifting here, do a counter drift by the first power slide and then do neutral. It is going to help you maintain your momentum, maintain your line, and therefore allow you to keep going. It helps a fuck ton. Also, if you lose control of your kart here, I'm sorry to say this, but you need to reset. Unless you manage up with some crazy drifting, you need to reset. Because in further parts of the track, most importantly in lap 2, you will lose your reserves randomly. And that's the problem. Reserves are tight in this course. Okay, let's speak about this specific part. Here, the problem is, by the second turbo, you seem to gain a ton of air. It's like the track is going into some anti-grav physics that you feel like you have no control of. So what I recommend when entering this part is, first of all, on the boost panel on the top here, do a low jump. This will allow you to see that you can do more neutral drifting and hug more the wall. So you're gonna hug the wall by doing some neutral turbos, and then try to hope as late as possible to gain the most airtime as you can. It matters a lot because can I even go back? No, I cannot. Okay, I'll show it on lap 2, I think. So the problem is, if you release the jump too early, you're gonna get no air time. And no air time is bad, because that means you can cut less the corner. And cutting less the corner means a time loss. The thing is, if you wanna corner more, there is a higher chance that Aku or whatever it is, the mask will pick you up if your line is bad. In my lap record that is shown in my channel, you can see that I'm actually going over this specific spot and not be picked up because of the anti-grav. That is the key point. If you go high enough by tricking at the last millisecond in this panel over there, you can go as high as you wish on lap 1, which means cutting more. It helps a fuck ton with the next turn, which is a U-turn to begin with. In this U-turn, you just have to think about going tight and doing a U-turn. There is nothing else you can do here. There's not many techniques other than U-turning the spot that will make you go faster. However, what you can see is that if you jump too early, you're gonna get a low jump, and therefore you're gonna miss by holding maybe square too long, because you felt like you were gonna get a ton of air, so you could have more momentum to do your U-turn. But the problem is, if you jump too early, it's gonna be a low jump, and you're not even gonna corner as much as possible because you're gonna do a low jump, and that means doing a U-turn that is poor compared to a U-turn which had a ton of air. So please, for this specific part, jump as late as you can, but U-turn as fast as you can, of course. When landing here with the blue fire, what I recommend doing is a neutral left-facing turbo. The thing is, if you do a left-facing neutral turbo, you're gonna land about here, and by the release of it, you're gonna hit those two panels, which means arguably better reserves, but that means also a better alignment, because you're going to go tight here and instantly adjust yourself for the next turn. The next turn being a U-turn. You jump and you U-turn. By the U-turn landing, what I recommend doing is a left-facing turbo. Only one. Why only one? It helps you keep the reserves, and by the moment you... Oh.
My bad. Should I go?
No, it's fine. You're fine here. I just didn't notice you joined. Hello there. By the moment you reach this specific part of the course, if you do two turbos, the problem is that your jump is going to be as wide as this. This is the main problem. You're gonna go this wide. So if you do one turbo, the thing is, by the first jump you do to align yourself, you're gonna land about here, which means you can land about here for the enter rest of the jump. So that means a better cornering and a better line for the next turn. Here you don't need to U-turn. If you U-turn, you're gonna hit this invisible wall in the air, and you're gonna be frustrated because you've basically gotten here in lap 1, and then it just gets like game over, and you don't even need to practice lap 2 because you gotta go back over to lap 1 beginning. So don't U-turn here. It is useless and will make you cost a run. When landing here, you have to think of a neutral drift, and the release of the neutral drift needs to be here, followed by an instant jump. The instant jump is important. Why? Because you're gonna get a low jump, which means a better line for this specific U-turn here. The thing is, if you're actually going too tight because you were holding a direction in this specific spot, you might think that the jump is bad. The problem is, if the jump is bad, that means you're gonna hit this wall, you're gonna hit something like here. You just feel like, I don't want to do this, and therefore I'm just gonna reset and go back to lap 1 beginning. No, the thing is, you have to release the turbo about here, So when you do the jump, the momentum of releasing the turbo is gonna still be here, so you can go wide during the jump and therefore adjust yourself for the next U-turn. Here, I would recommend doing a jump about here. Why? You're gonna get so less hair than if you jumped here. Therefore, that means getting a better U-turn for the rest of the course, and even land about here, so you can think about doing a U-turn at the end of the course while hitting this boost panel, which means adding more reserves. The U-turn here is arguably the most frustrating one in any lap. You're at the end of the course, you're feeling like doing a specific U-turn, and the thing is, if you hit this boost panel, you're probably gonna think of going to the left side for a bit and then U-turn. The problem is hitboxes. Hitboxes are here. Hitboxes are invisible walls. So what I recommend doing is hitting the boost panel by this side and then U-turn like this with the blue fire. You won't hit the wall and you will hit the next boost panel. That is interesting, isn't it? Let's try to keep the blue fire and explain for the next part of the laps. Alright, I missed the blue fire, but I believe what I've just explained in like 20 minutes maybe, I've just shown you how it works. Alright, now let's talk about the lap 2 blue fire. When you're gonna enter this turn in blue fire, you're gonna feel like, oh my fuck, I'm so used to the lap 1 version that now I don't even know how to go tight here. The strategy here is to do once again 2 turbos, but those turbos can be good turbos. That is the important point, because you want to jump for the next drifting technique about here. The thing is, if you do not jump about here, you are going to actually get a massive jump, which means having no control of what's going on afterwards. And if you have a massive jump, because you're so used to going to the left side, you're gonna land about here and land into a reset run. So sad. It is actually really sad and really frustrating, because you've just missed an opportunity to actually practice the lap 2. If you manage to go through and get a drift going here, what I recommend is first a neutral drift, followed by a holding direction turbo release, which means when you release the turbo, you're going to hold the left direction. If you manage to go this tight, you have to think of going wide. But the problem is, if you go too wide with the blue fire, you might land here. So what is the best technique? The best technique to me is first start the drift as a neutral. So you can go, let's see. I'm like here. If I hold neutral, I can go like this. And then when I release, I go this tight. Then follow it by a neutral and keep releases, but the releases have to be the barely perfect turbos. If you don't do barely perfect turbos, but do good turbos, you're gonna hit this wall about here. However, if you do fully perfect turbos, you're gonna land here. Is it good to land this far? No, it isn't. Also, the thing is, you still want to go tight even if you land here. So what I recommend doing is keep the momentum of drifting. You're gonna go about this tight, and then you can adjust yourself more for this boost panel. However, The thing is, when you're about to jump to align yourself, because holding drift doesn't really make you go as tight as you want for too long, because when you hold the drift, you're gonna go like this. So when you reach about this position, when you feel like you're going, oh well, I'm too wide, I need to adjust myself, what I recommend doing is let go accelerate. First of all, let go accelerate. Second, you need to jump instantly. And then third, adjust yourself depending on where you see your where you see your character and where the wall is. It may be useful to U-turn for a millisecond here in order to reach this boost panel with a good momentum. What I see people doing here with the blue fire is do a drift instantly afterwards. I honestly think this is bad. I think jumping once again to be even more closer of this wall is better. Why? You're gonna corner more by the next turbo because you're gonna do a line like this. And once again, you're gonna gain time because you've been cornering more than others. Of course, this part is like lap 1, but with the addition of the speed, I recommend doing good or barely perfect turbos. And most importantly, the most important variant of the blue fire part is this one. It is so fast and so cancer that if you're used to doing jumps in lap 1, you're gonna feel like, I cannot do this. I cannot go as tight. So the problem is you wanna go with no jumps at all. You're gonna lose time because you're gonna be stuck into the ground. This is a problem. So what I recommend is when you're doing your good turbos, jump about here. The jump will be so fast that you will land in your screen about here, and therefore you will be able to go this tight. Afterwards, I recommend not jumping though. I recommend not jumping too much. Even though it loses time, it is insanely difficult to keep a good line while spamming the jumps. It is insanely difficult. Of course, with the blue fire, it is harder to also add a mini turbo here. So I don't recommend doing it. I do not recommend doing it. Even though Turismo does it, I do not recommend doing it. If you can do it, that is good. That means more reserves. But I do not recommend doing it. When reaching this part with the blue fire, you have to jump instantly to do a low jump. Here I did a low by not tricking. This is arguably what you want to see, because with the blue fire, you're gonna land about here. Also, what I recommend doing is by the end of the jump, start U-turning. Therefore, you're gonna do a U-turn about here, and you're gonna land in a perfect line here. You can keep jumping here. You don't need to do any turbos. This specific part of the course with the blue fire needs only jumping. There is no need to drift. There is only a need to do turbos. Here you can do 2 turbos while holding the cornering. It depends if you feel comfortable with it, but if you don't feel comfortable with it, don't drift. I do not know if you can lose your reserves here, but I think that you've built enough reserves to keep your momentum. I believe it. I've tested it 1 lap and I didn't lose my reserves. I don't know if it was a consistent technique, but I've kept them. Now, if you land here with the blue fire, you will also probably think, oh no, I'm going too fast. Also, the anti-grav part by this jump is insane. You can go as high as you want and even miss this boost panel. I'm not joking. You can miss it. So what I recommend doing is, let's see, I'm gonna restart and try to keep the blue fire. What I recommend doing is jump as early as possible. I'm not gonna go very tight in this attempt because I want to show how crazy the blue fire is. See how much air I got? If I went tight, I would have skipped the corner. Alright. Oh, that was a good line. Without even jumping. Oh my.
Never jumping, you say?
No jumping, yes. But I tried doing it. I thought at this specific part that because of how I released my turbos, I would go tight even without jumping. Let's try again. See, I can skip the corner because I jumped as late as I could. Oh, I hit the wall again. That's unfortunate. This is why I don't like hitting the boost panel. You see how wide it made me go? It's bad to me. And see how long I waited here to jump? That's because I want to avoid as much as possible the low jump. This is what I mean by the jump, by the way. Alright. Low jump, instant U-turn. Instant jump, and see how much air I get. How the fuck is it possible to get this much air? Because of the anti-grav they put here. And you saw that I hit the wall because I wanted to go too tight. Invisible walls are just unavoidable and can be only known if you play the game. So what I recommend doing here is sadly to go wide. Try to follow oh wait, can I go back? Can I go back please? Okay, good. Try to follow this this fence, I'll say it like that. Try to follow this fence. It's the only way you can actually have knowledge of this. Thanks. It's just the only way you have knowledge of the invisible wall you can hit in this track, in this specific spot. This is the only way. If you don't follow this and try to go tighter than this, you're gonna hit the wall. Therefore, lose the run. And you've just wasted time and frustration, and be even more frustrated because you didn't follow this. That is the problem. This track is very frustrating, so I recommend playing safe with the blue fire if you can. It doesn't matter that if you wanna go tight, if you're trying to finish a run, but of course if you want the record on this course, you sadly have to go tight. But still, there are many spots where even with the blue fire, we want to play safe. Because some strategies are too hard to be done. Alright, I believe I've covered nearly every part of the course. I think I did. I believe I did, yeah. What part did I not cover? Oh yeah, there's one. There's one.
Ooh,
Turismo and Donjitos do a right-facing turbo here. I honestly believe, pardon my English, this is bad. Why? The line is bad, and you get too much air here to add a turbo in the other turn. And even then, Turismo managed to get some air and do a good turbo to add a turbo here. But this is bad because he goes wide about here when he jumps. Any action you make in this game is gonna have an impact on the next turn. This is why some strategies are used and some strategies aren't to optimize any course. So you have to think of it every damn time. It is a huge task, I understand that. But if you do not do it, you're gonna lose reserves or you're gonna hit the wall because you wanted to go too tight at some point. This is a problem. So I think oh yeah, one more point. Boost panel by the blue fire here do not matter. If you hit one that is in your line, that is good. But for example, let's say you go for this one. This is extremely bad because this one is a wide one. You don't want to go wide ever. You don't want to go wide ever in this specific part of the course. Because if you go wide here, that means your kart is going to land here. And when you're about to jump, you might get a ton of air and land into an invisible wall because you wanted to go tight here. Why would you go tight then? Well, it's just a natural habit, but you're gonna hit the wall because you got a ton of air. This is a problem. So yeah, don't go for boost panel except the last two ones. Those are good ones. And the first two as well. If you hit them, that's good. But if you don't, it doesn't matter. But every other, they're bad ones. They're all bad ones. Because they're either in the middle or wide panels. Also, I forgot about this, so I'm gonna mention it. Donjitos does 3 mini turbos here. Why is it bad? Because you cannot corner as much as you wish about here. And you have therefore to do good turbos, which means less reserves. And even less cornering than what I've been capable to show. So I do not recommend doing 3 turbos at the very start. I recommend doing 2 and instantly adjust yourself with the most perfect turbos you can do. Alright, I believe that is enough for now, at least for my explanations in the course. If you have any question about this specific course, like why would you not do this and do this, I can answer them right now. I'm gonna have like 5 minutes and then I will go do something else. Of course, if everybody thinks that the guide was clear for the most part, I'm gonna end it here.
So, any questions coming your way?
Apparently not. Do you even have one?
Oh, I kind of like came in, like, probably midstream, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't really know. So I'm not 100% sure on... I'm just feeling embarrassed right now, holy shit.
It's fine. It's fine. Just try to explain your point and what you would drive or what you would do on a part of the course. He's called Beelzebub, I think. I've added him in the PlayStation 4. He joined the party.
Yeah, you got the name right. Like,
Okay, good.
not a lot of people out there just get it right. Oh yeah.
So,
I'm gonna need a. Sorry.
letting you talk. Explain yourself.
Sure. So I kind of like need a reminder on what track were you doing specifically?
Oxide Station.
Oh, Oxide Station.
Mhm.
Oh man. I mean, I'm not usually the best at Oxide Station, and I believe not everyone else in the randoms association of online are good either.
That's why. It's a really complex course to understand, and going tight there is like, I don't want to, but you need to.
Yeah. Like, Oxide Station is literally a pinball machine. There are so many walls that you just need to avoid.
That is true. That's why I recommend doing neutral drifting. That means making you go wider so you can hit less walls.
Yeah. Like, it just kind of like throws me off if I ever like perform Blue Fire. Yeah. Like on the last part of the course. It really like kind of throws me off when it comes to drifting though. Like I always hit a wall on the last part because hey, I can't like perform my U-turns initially. I mean, I haven't done much practice there.
The thing is, by the Blue Fire part, I only do 2 power slides, 2 or 3 at best. The rest is U-turning.
Oh, the rest is U-turning. All right. I mean,
Like-
actually, yeah.
When I land, I do 1 or 2 power slides, then I U-turn. Then by the next turn, I do 1 power slide and do jumps. Then I do another jump, and in a straight line with the white boost panel on the left, I do 1 close power slide, and the ending is U-turning. Considering this part
Well,
is extremely cancer to drift on, you have to U-turn.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like U-turning in Oxide Station is a must. It's a staple.
It's an extreme most.
Yeah. I mean, for my sake, I usually use all-rounders in that case.
Mhm.
I mean, in my opinion, they perform better than turning characters, and they're supposed to have better handling.
The thing is, with turning characters, you turn too much. That is why you think that all-rounders are better. Because you have less turning, so that means more control.
Like, I think the problem is with me when it comes to using turning characters to implement the air brake is that they're just light. Like they're freaking lightweights.
Yeah, I don't think
You know.
U-turning with lightweights is efficient enough to implement it. There are
Yeah,
better
right.
strats in my opinion.
I'm intrigued.
The thing is, what I think with turning characters, let's try with one. I've never used one, so that's gonna be interesting.
Well, yeah, I mean, not many people use turning characters because, hey, they're not part of the meta, of course.
It's not even just
I mean,
meta.
most
I
people-
never felt interested into turning too much. Alright.
Well, yeah.
Polar is
Like-
one, yeah.
I usually see most people just pick certain characters like Crunch or Amy, etc. Like, there's just not enough turning characters, like turning racers, out there and online.
That's quite sad in my opinion. To see that a category is just so underplayed. Okay, let's see.
I mean, like, literally though?
Oh my! Even the first turn is cancer. Wow.
See? Oh man. But yeah, like pretty much though. Like in every time trial leaderboard, you will see the following. Like the following amount of racers that choose advanced characters. Like there isn't a single acceleration all-rounder or anything else in the top 10. Well, maybe in Thunderstruck at least. But oh well.
Okay, counter drifting is basically what you need to do with these. And U-turning is extremely bad, I feel.
Oh yeah. Like I've tried U-turning a lot in Tiny Arena, just get a good turning like record, but it's just so difficult to have a turning character like perform U-turn. Like honestly.
Okay, so the problem I see is that when you're turning, you have the same physics as advanced. They work the exact same. You don't go any tighter because you're in the air, and I think the air is like the same for everyone else.
I mean, in all honesty, B-Nox does love flying. I mean, they made the B movie, for Christ's sake. So I guess, like, I guess the hang time when it comes to being in Nitro-Fueled, it can be, what's the word I'm looking for? Chaotic?
Yeah, it is chaotic.
I mean, take Mystery Case for example.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us
Hold
today?
on. I'm currently trying to get a good lap with your category. It's extremely difficult.
Yeah, it really is difficult. But I managed to pull through that
Wow.
with one run, at least. Like it took me like multiple attempts in Tiny Arena just to get a good time. Let's see.
I don't know. The thing is, with this character, I don't want a U-turn. I don't feel like it's optimal because I don't have any speed, so it's bad.
I mean, that's true. I mean, that's true. You don't have speed because turning characters are like the slowest racers out there.
Mm-hmm.
Basically. Like my best time on Tiny Arena with a turning character is 3:13.52 as polar.
That's
But, however-
decent, I suppose. I didn't play the course.
Yeah, but however, there was someone else who surpassed my turning class time, and she shaved like 3 seconds off.
Aphie?
I forgot the name though. Like, I'm gonna need to check that out. Like, let me skim through the leaderboards. I know, Hero Kaze 3:10.62. That's the username.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Evie touched like a couple of these tracks, to be honest. Like a few tracks that I did as turning characters. Like I did Barren Ruins, Meteor Gorge, etc.
Those are insanely... Barren Ruins to me is an insanely relevant course for advanced. With turning, it must be extremely cancer because of how wide the turns are.
Well, yeah, you do have a point there. But the one, shit. The one place where you have to like turn the shit though, it kind of like gives you a reason to play as a turning character, I suppose.
Alright, I'll take your
I mean,
word on that.
Yeah, just hugging the corners is just pretty fine, and avoiding the robot is I believe that's a different story for my sake and yours.
Because I just have to barely avoid it, and it goes fine.
But yeah, my best time for Barren Ruins is 1:49:24 is for real.
49?
Oh yeah.
Damn. That's so much slower than advanced.
Well, yeah, I mean, not all the... Like, not every category is built the same, though. Right?
Yeah, it is. It is differently.
Yeah, especially with the... especially with the terms of speed as well. I mean, the conception with each class having their own speed really varies once you, like, start boosting along with the turbo pads. Like, that's where the real difference starts to show between the classes. Because one time I did try to win a race in Twilight Tour as a turning character, but then when there was an advanced racer, like
you couldn't?
a player who is
You couldn't win?
Yeah, I couldn't win because the person's way faster than me. Obviously.
Yeah, I understand.
And in assembly lane, however, I'm a part of the top 600. 2:35:42 is Ripperoo.
Wow. Alright. I feel like I can hit probably a minute of a lap 1 with a turning character there, but the thing is, advanced and turning play so differently to go wide that I don't think you're gonna gain much benefit by using them for too long. Because I believe that if you were to play an advanced character right now, you would be like, how the fuck do these people drive? Well, right now, I am, how the fuck do you drive this game with this?
Well, I do. Well, to be honest though, I do play advanced characters from time to time online. It's just that I play turning characters because why not? Like, I want to stand out, right?
I understand.
Yeah, because since I rarely see anyone out there online who plays as a turning racer, I just feel like it's an opportunity. Like, I could probably experiment with this and see how it goes. So far, I'm impressed.
Oh, nice.
I mean, imagine winning in out of time against 2 digital end trophies. Like,
yeah.
That. Yeah, this is like the longest 5 minutes you ever had there, huh?
No. Oh my. Those will... Yeah, turning characters... I honestly don't like them on this course. I know I would like them in the deep sea driving tube. But that's all there is to it to me. Only the tube in deep sea driving.
Just deep sea driving. So, not for Polar Pass.
No.
Or Engine Labs or anywhere else.
No. Engine Labs you can U-turn. Polar Pass you can U-turn. Whereas in deep sea driving tube, U-turning is a pain in the ass. So having turning characters would make you complete more rounds, I would say.
Yeah, but if you have enough airtime, then it should be possible.
The thing is, you have to get that airtime.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, this is a pain in the ass to begin with. Oh yeah, Papyrus Pyramid. I would say that if I didn't know how to U-turn properly, I would probably use a turning character. in
Yeah,
Papu's
probably.
Pyramid?
I mean, when I started playing Nitro-Fueled, like my muscle memory wasn't exact, though. Like I'm pretty sure everyone else's muscle memories were not there at the moment. Like, so this kind of gave me a reason to start from square one and play as beginner characters because of how off the controls were, because they weren't the same.
Alright.
So I started playing characters as like Ripperoo and Crunk because I needed to practice. Like I needed to get my muscle memory going in order to play the game online soon.
Alright. Well, good luck in your attempts of mastering the turning characters. I am not going to be part of this. I'm sorry. I don't like them. Just that one attempt in Oxide Station threw me off. I don't like how they work. I don't feel like it's natural to use them, at least for my driving. They don't feel natural.
Cool story then, bro. I gotcha.
Alright, I'm gonna end the stream here so I can watch BTF actually struggle with Sewer Speedway and actually laugh at him for struggling this much. Yes, I'm an asshole. Alright. So thanks for watching. I hope the guide in Oxide Station was as clear as I could make it. If there are still any questions about this though, you can always ask me on Discord to make a proper list in a post or whatever that you feel like I should mention more or just be clearer, let's say it like that. Alright, thanks for watching, I'll catch ya later.